You know, I will keep working to ensure America remains strong and secure and the leader of the free world. I'm the first president in this century to report to the American people that the United States is not at war anywhere in the world. We'll keep rallying a coalition of proud nations to stop Putin from taking over Ukraine and doing more damage. We'll keep NATO stronger, and I'll make it more powerful and more united than any time in all of our history. I'll keep doing the same for our allies in the Pacific. We've come so far since my inauguration. On that day, I told you, as I stood in that winter, we stood in a winter of peril and a winter of possibilities. Peril and possibilities.
This is my video update on this Thursday afternoon, July the 25th. Let's talk about some news, and we have proof of life. That is right. Biden, after 3 days of being couped, after a coup d'etat, 3 days later, Professor Biden speaks to the American people, speaks to the world from the White House Oval Office. And he gave an 11-minute address. The media tells us, the White House tells us this was live. There are some people, some analysts, that dispute that claim because they say that Biden's watch showed a different time than the time the address from the Oval Office aired. Anyway, who knows? Maybe it was pre-recorded. Maybe this was a deep fake or a cheap fake. Artificial intelligence, AI, but even if it was AI or AI enhanced, it doesn't matter because remember, Biden is the AI. The AI is Biden. So whichever way you look at it, whether this was live, Biden speaking to the American people, or if this was some sort of AI thing, which I doubt, but who knows, maybe. It doesn't matter because Biden is the AI. So that was Biden yesterday speaking to the world. And Biden, what did Biden say? Well, Biden said that he's not stepping down for health reasons. Actually, Karine Jean-Pierre told the media that Biden stepping aside to allow Kamala Harris to be the Democratic Party candidate has nothing to do with health reasons. Biden, in his address, he basically said that his term as president was freaking awesome, bro. It was awesome. Biden said that he didn't get the U.S. in any wars. No wars, according to Professor Biden. No wars. That's amazing. No wars under a Biden presidency. No Ukraine, no Gaza, no Middle East, nothing. Biden kept the United States out of any wars. All of the hundreds of billions given to Zelensky and given to Ukraine, and all of the weapons, the U.S. weapons, the mercenaries, the instructors, the American instructors in Ukraine, NATO. Forget about all of that. No wars, according to Biden. What else did Biden say? The economy, the U.S. economy is booming, according to Biden. It is freaking booming. Inflation? Transitory, man. It's transitory. So he said the U.S. economy is booming. And Biden also said that the borders, the southern borders, have never been more secure. That's right. No wars, economic boom, borders, southern border, completely secure, locked down. We're talking no one is going to get into the United States illegally under Biden. No one got into the United States illegally under Biden. So why not run for a second term? I mean, well, according to Biden, he is stepping aside. He's stepping down. He's not going to run for a second term. He'll remain as president for the next 6 months, he said. He is going to continue to build on the 3.5 years years of success that he has accomplished. He's going to build on that for the next 6 months. He's going to take on Putin. He's going to make NATO stronger than ever. But he's still going to pass the torch, he said, to the next generation, to Kamala Harris. It's about passing the torch. And he's doing this for the good of democracy. It's all about democracy. That is what Biden said. He's passing the torch to Kamala Harris because it's all about preserving and protecting democracy. The empire of lies, everybody. Unbelievable. The man just got coup d'etat 3 days ago. And now he's giving a statement from the Oval Office, and he is saying that he is not going to run for re-election because it's all about preserving democracy. So let me hand it over. Let me pass the baton to Kamala Harris, someone who in 2020 had to drop out before the primaries even got underway. let me give it to her because it's all about democracy. Yep. They're not going to have another primary. They're not going to hold another primary. They're not going to let the American people or Democratic Party voters decide who they would like to take over for Biden. Nope, this is all about democracy. So let's just pass it on to Kamala Harris. Let's pass the torch. The torch. Nice symbolism there, huh? He's going to pass the torch to Kamala so they can continue to set everything on fire. So yeah, that is what Biden said, He's going out on top. He did an awesome job, perhaps the greatest first term of any president in history. Yeah. No wars, booming economy. The U.S. economy is the envy of the world, and a secure and safe border. He's going out on top. It's like Michael Jordan deciding to resign, to stop playing professional basketball after he won his 6th championship with the Chicago Bulls. That's what it's like. Instead of then going off and playing with the Washington Bullets, who are now the Wizards, and doing all of that stuff. No, it's like Jordan winning the 6th championship and saying, I'm done. I'm done with professional basketball. I'm going out on top. That is what Biden is doing. He is going out on top of the world. Oh boy, what theater is this? What kind of theatrics are we witnessing here? So, the New York Post, they put out an article with the title, Obama doesn't believe Kamala Harris can beat Trump, which is why he hasn't endorsed her, sources, according to sources. So basically, the New York Post, they interviewed 2 sources, but one main source, and this source is not close to the Obama family. This source is close to the Biden family. So everything that the New York Times is reporting in this article, and a lot of people are talking about this article saying that Obama is up to some more intrigue. They need to keep in mind that this is not an Obama source. This is a Biden family source. And according to the New York Post, Obama doesn't believe Harris can win. He's very concerned about Biden's endorsement of Harris, very concerned that Harris is going to be the Democratic Party nominee. He would have preferred Mark Kelly, Arizona's Mark Kelly, former astronaut, which doesn't make much sense to me, but that is what the New York Post, that is what this Biden family source is telling the New York Post. And this Biden family source is saying that that Obama thinks Harris is awful. She's incompetent. She can't debate. She's going to be a disaster on foreign policy. She can't speak in public. She messes up all the time. She's going to say some dumb stuff about Ukraine, about China, Israel, and Obama's just not happy. He is not happy with the situation in the Democratic Party. Now, I read this article, and the fact that this is a Biden family source, or a source that's close to the Biden family, to me, it signals that this article is the Biden clan firing off some shots at Obama because they're upset that Obama maneuvered Biden out and maneuvered Harris in. Basically, this article is, think of it from the standpoint of someone who had a really good job, and then someone else in the company decided to maneuver them out of their job and put in one of their buddies, and that person that lost their job is now spreading gossip throughout the company about those people that maneuvered him out, trying to create some division and hatred and palace intrigue. That's basically what this is. It's the Biden family, at least how I read it, it's the Biden family trying to sow some division between Obama and Harris, trying to paint Obama as an angry ex-president, furious with the Democratic Party, furious with the fact that Harris is going to be the nominee. And yeah, that's how I read this article. Actually, let me read you some of what the New York Post is reporting. Former President Barack Obama hasn't endorsed Kamala Harris's presidential bid because he doesn't think she can beat Donald Trump, according to a source close to the Biden family. But the source doesn't have high hopes for a TV debate between Trump and Harris. When Biden was still in the race, a second debate was scheduled for September 10th. Wait until the debate. She can't debate. She's going to put her foot in her mouth about Israel, Palestine, Ukraine. She's going to say something really stupid, the source said. After Biden's ouster, Obama, who did not return a request for comment Wednesday, wanted Arizona Senator and former astronaut Mark Kelly at the top of the ticket when the Democratic National Convention is held next month, the source said. Obama is furious things haven't gone his way, which is why he is not joining in the Democratic Party's support of Harris, the Biden source added. Another well-placed Democrat source said Obama being surprised by a smart political decision actually makes sense when coupled with his personal inability to see politics beyond his singular immediate interests. Obama always thinks he is the smartest and coolest guy in the room. He's friends with George Clooney, after all. Yeah, this article from the New York Post is bitterness. Someone is very bitter in the Biden clan. Maybe Dr. Jill Biden, maybe Hunter, maybe both. And so you have this article from the New York Post talking about how Obama thinks he's the smartest and coolest guy in the room. That's taking a shot at Obama. That is taking a shot at Obama. The man that removed my husband or coup d'etat my father. Maybe, just saying. But yeah, that's the New York Post article. Just because Obama hasn't endorsed Harris just yet doesn't mean that he's upset with Harris. I said in a video 3 days ago that Obama is actually playing it quite cool for the moment. He's let everyone else endorse Harris. He's saying he supports the party. He wants unity. And knowing Obama, he's just waiting for the right time. The right time where he can get the most attention, all eyes on him, And that's when he's going to make his big announcement to endorse Harris. That's what I think is going on. I don't think him not endorsing Harris is reflective of some sort of Obama-Harris feud. I just think it's Obama waiting for the right moment to make the big announcement. The kingmaker. He's the kingmaker, which means that he's the leader of the party. That's how he's positioning himself, and it's quite clever. Anyway, that is the article from the New York Post. And I'm going to talk about an Axios article. I'll save that for the clown world. Axios talking about border czar Kamala. That's actually the clown world. Let's move that to the clown world slot. And let's now talk about someone else who gave a speech in Washington yesterday, and that is the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. He spoke to Congress yesterday. From what I understand, he got a record-breaking, if there is a record, he got a record-breaking 58 or 60 standing ovations from the lawmakers who actually attended this speech, because AOC, she posted on Twitter X that half of the lawmakers decided to boycott this speech from Netanyahu. This is from AOC. Just so we're clear, Netanyahu has lost so many people that he is addressing just a fraction of Congress. When this happens, they fill the seats with non-members, like what they do at award ceremonies in order to project the appearance of full attendance and support. And another Twitter post from Andrew Solendar says, by my count, roughly 100 of the 212 House Democrats and 27 of 51 Senate Democrats and Dem caucusing independents are in the chamber for Netanyahu's speech. That's an interesting admission from AOC, saying that when seats are empty, they actually get people to fill in those seats. That's an interesting admission. That in and of itself is quite fascinating. But yeah, this is according to AOC. According to AOC, many lawmakers decided not to show up to listen to Netanyahu. But Netanyahu spoke, and he got a lot of standing ovations, and he said a lot of lies. He talked a lot of lies. The one that stood out for me was where Netanyahu actually hinted at Iran playing some sort of role in the assassination attempt against Trump. That was outrageous. And of course, he's referring to the CNN article. I talked about this in a video a couple of days ago, where CNN said that there was some Iranian plot to take out Trump, but Intel admitted that this didn't have any connection with crooks or whoever was involved in the assassination attempt. But Netanyahu jumped on this CNN article, or maybe the CNN article was planted in order to give Netanyahu this claim. And he said that, he hinted, I don't want to say he outright said, he hinted at some sort of Iranian involvement in the Trump assassination attempt. Quite a big lie from Netanyahu. Here's a Twitter X post from Thomas Massey. Today, Congress will undertake political theater on behalf of the State Department. The purpose of having Netanyahu address Congress is to bolster his political standing in Israel and to quell international opposition to his war. I don't feel like being a prop, so I won't be attending. So that's from Thomas Massey. Netanyahu, he is pitching, while he's in D.C., a Middle East NATO. That is what he is. He is calling on the United States to create a Middle East NATO. He says this alliance can be called the Abraham Alliance. Just what we need. Another NATO just what the world is not looking for is more NATO. We need no NATO, less NATO, no NATO, not more NATO. But that's Netanyahu's idea. You got to imagine that Stoltenberg and Rutte are peeing in their pants at the prospect of a Middle East NATO. They're trying to get a Pacific NATO going, and to Middle East NATO, they're probably saying, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, let's get Middle East NATO. Keep the grift and keep the money flowing. So that was Netanyahu speaking to the U.S. Congress. By the way, Putin yesterday met with Assad, Syria's Assad. Assad must go, Assad must go. They all said it. Obama, Hillary, I think Biden, they all said Assad must go, Assad must go. Assad is still there, and he's meeting with Putin, and it looks like Russia's going to help put together some sort of meeting between Erdogan and Assad. And once Erdogan and Assad get back on good terms, the only piece to the puzzle that's left with fixing Syria, or the only main piece to the puzzle that's left, is getting the U.S. occupation forces out of Syria. Get those occupation forces out of Syria, and then pretty much Syria is, for the most part, solved. So that's a big meeting that took place yesterday. So let's do one more story, and then we'll get into the Axios Border Czar clown world. And we have to talk about this Guardian interview of Ukraine military commander Syrskyi. So the Guardian, they sat down with Syrskyi for his first interview with Western mainstream media. I believe this is his first interview with the Western mainstream media. And Syrskyi, he said some very interesting things, made some very interesting admissions. Now, the Guardian, they're framing this article as Syrskyi saying that Ukraine can win the conflict with Russia. The title of the Guardian article is, "I Know We Will Win, and How Ukraine's Top General on Turning the Tables Against Russia." That's the title of this Guardian article. That's how they're trying to frame this interview of Syrskyi, as a Ukraine military commander who knows that Ukraine can win, and he knows how Ukraine can defeat Russia. But when you read this article, what it's really about is Ukraine's top military commander admitting that Ukraine cannot win. They are not going to win this thing. They're losing, and they're losing bad. In this article, Syrskyi actually tells the Guardian, he actually tells the Guardian that Russia has more of everything. I think that's the exact quote. Yeah, the exact quote is, "They have more of everything." That's his quote. They have more of everything, he says. They have more artillery. They have more tanks. They have more fighting vehicles. He says they have more soldiers. Actually, he said that Russia started with 100,000 soldiers, and now they're ramping up. Soon they will have 690,000 soldiers. And then he tells the Guardian that Ukraine is struggling with mobilization. He says it's going really bad for Ukraine on the mobilization front. So he's saying Russia is ramping up to close to 700,000 soldiers from 100,000. He said Ukraine is unable to mobilize. And he says that Russia is making more of everything. They have more of everything. They've doubled their tanks. They've tripled their missiles, he says. Their artillery production is booming. But he says that Ukraine's going to win. And Russia has more soldiers, and they're mobilizing more, but he said Ukraine is going to win. He actually makes the statement that even though Russia has more of everything, and they're making more of everything, and they're capturing village after village. Syrskyi says all of this stuff. He actually then says, yeah, but Russia's paying a heavy price in casualties. They've lost more men than Ukraine. Come on, bro. He must take us for fools, Commander Syrskyi. But I guess he has to say that, right? He has to say the lie, the propaganda lie that Russia is suffering huge losses, more than Ukraine. Russia's suffering more losses than Ukraine. He has to throw that out there. Russia's success, meanwhile, came at a staggering human cost. The Kremlin's casualties were 3 times higher than Ukraine's, and even more in certain directions, Syrsky said. So he throws a little caveat out there in order to please his collective West masters, because I imagine when the collective West puppet masters, when they read this article from Syrsky, they're going to be furious with Ukraine's military commander. I mean, furious. This article is amazing. I mean, it really is an amazing article, an amazing interview of Syrsky. He is basically admitting defeat, complete defeat. Ukraine cannot win this conflict. And in the article, he actually says that there's a plan. There's a plan in place. Get this. There's a plan in place to capture Crimea. And it's been a plan that's been in place for 10 years. He can't tell us the plan. He can't say what the plan is. He can't get into details, but he said it's a good plan to capture all of Crimea. So we're going to keep on waiting for this plan to take effect, I guess, but that's what Syrsky said. That's how the conflict's going to be won, with this master plan, 10 years in the works to capture Crimea, and that's how this war is going to be won by the Zelensky regime. Anyway, that's the interview from Syrsky, and let's do some clown worlds. Yeah. By the way, Kuleba still in China. I believe he leaves today, the foreign minister of Ukraine. He's been there for many days, and it looks like the Chinese are sticking it to him. It looks like the Chinese are saying, bro, you better capitulate. You better accept Putin's terms, or else you guys are not going to exist in a few months' time. That's what I think the Chinese are telling him. Take the terms that Putin put out on the table out there, because you guys are getting clobbered. But Peskov, he made a statement yesterday, the Kremlin spokesman, and he said, look, we can talk, but Zelensky's illegitimate. That's what Peskov said. He's illegitimate. And Ukraine has a clause in their constitution that even if the Chinese get Ukraine to negotiate on our terms, their constitution says that they can't negotiate with Russian President Putin, so they have to change their constitution as well. So that's what Peskov said. Can we go down here? I think we can. So let's do some clown worlds, and we can wrap up the video. So Axios, we'll start with Axios. They put out an article claiming that no one ever said Kamala was the border czar. That is what Axios is trying to tell us. No one ever claimed Kamala was going to be the border czar. Who made up this fiction, according to Axios? The Trump campaign and Republicans have tagged Harris repeatedly with the border czar title, which she never actually had. So that's not the clown world. I mean, it is a clown world because we all know that Kamala Harris was the border czar, even though she never actually went to the border. From what I understand, she was close to the border, but I don't think she actually went to the border. Oh yeah, remember the interview? I think it was NBC News, Lester Holt, where he asked Kamala Harris, have you been to the border? And she said, well, no, but I haven't been to Europe either. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it's Kamala. But what the clown world is really about is Axios put this post on Twitter X, and the community note is awesome. The community note underneath this Axios post reads, in April 2021, Axios itself published multiple articles referring to Harris as Biden's border czar, and actually lists the Axios articles that refer to Kamala Harris as the border czar. Oh man, community notes. You gotta love them. They're not always right. The community notes are not always accurate, but every now and then, boy, are they good. And one more clown world. Pirate Scholz. He is saying that he is going to run again as Chancellor of Germany. Pirate Scholz is going to run again. Well, Olaf Scholz is going to run again. But if he runs as Pirate Scholz, then I think he's going to actually win. If he runs as Olaf Scholz, he's not going to win because from the latest polling that I have seen, I think the SPD is at around 14%, 12 or 14%. I think it's the fourth or third biggest party in Germany. So he has no chance of becoming chancellor if he runs as Olaf Scholz. But Pirate Scholz, Germany, I am Pirate Scholz and I want to be your new chancellor, matey. Then I think Germans are going to vote for him. Because who doesn't want a pirate as your chancellor? Anyway, delusional Olaf Scholz. That's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and Twitter X. And go to the Duran shop. Pick up some merch like the t-shirt I am wearing today. Take care.